Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Just Passing Through podcast, episode 163. I'm just cycling through Hyammer at the moment. It's another mobile podcast. And the reason I'm late is it's been piecing it down all week. And I didn't really want to do an indoor one because I had a load of work to do at home. So I thought I'd leave it till today because we've got a national holiday here on Monday tomorrow, because they take a day off here for sports days. So it's a national holiday. So we've got a long weekend. Everyone's a winner. So I thought I'd just leave it until it got a bit sunny. And it is sunny. I'm out here in my Bradford City training top, which perfectly doubles up as an autumn cycling top. Keeps the wind out, keeps you a little bit warm. I mean, it's not cold here by any stretch of the imagination. We're fucking 18 degrees at 7 o'clock in the morning. It'll probably get up to about 23 or 24 today, which is a good summer day in England. Anyway, with everybody banging on about kids and phones, this is what the episode's about this week. And you've heard it all before, I'm sure of it. But I just want to give you the first-hand experience of what I've been going through, or what we've been going through at home. Now, there are plenty here that listen that know I've got a 13-year-old daughter. Now, we give her phone a year ago. And I said to my wife, shall we put restrictions on it? So obviously she can't look at outlets over 18, although she might have been able to change settings, I've no idea. But she had no restrictions on time, because the Japanese way is, let her figure it out for herself and we'll give her a bit of responsibility. And me being the Yorkshireman, I said to my wife, I don't think that's fucking wise, because half of her DNA is mine. And at 12 and 13 years old, I couldn't fucking stop myself. Could not stop myself with anything. And anything that were negative. So back in 1985, when I was 13, 14 years old, obviously it was the telly then. We had TV. Now, for my parents, especially my mother, growing up, the TV was a fucking godsend, because you could just sit me in front of that telly and I'd watch it all day. It was like babysitting. My mum could concentrate on having a drink and housework, and all I had to do was sit in front of the telly watching Ludwig and Mr. Ben. Now, when it come to my mum needing to go to the supermarket, or she wanted me to do something, I was not ready to do that. You know, play school were on. I wanted to watch Brian Cant. And it'd descend into shouting and bawling. And you'd switch the telly off and you'd go about whatever fucking job needed doing. Now, fast forward 40 years. And the kids of that generation are now having the same problem with their kids. But it's much different with this one, because it's on-demand shit. When I were growing up, you had 4 channels. You didn't really look at newspaper, it was like a lottery. BBC 1, BBC 2, ITV. and you just kind of spun the wheel to see what we're on. And if it were any good, you'd stick with that. Let me switch this camera, because you don't want to be looking at me all this podcast. I'm going to stop here. I'm just going to stop it for a while, and I'll switch my camera, and you can follow the ride. Now obviously I don't want to be that fella banging on about phones, so the sidebar to this is Japanese parenting and parenting from Yorkshire. Now with parenting from Yorkshire, especially when I grew up, I don't know if it's changed much now, but your parents want your friends. Your parents were somebody that put a roof over your head, fed you, kept you warm and kept you clothed. That's all they had to do. And love you. But that's all they had to do. That was their job description. Love you, keep you warm, keep you fed, keep you safe. 4 things. There were no spinning of plates in the 1980s. It was just that. Now, you've got to be you've got to be friend, psychiatrist, mother, father, and those last 3 drop into the latter category. Now, being a Yorkshireman, I flatly refuse to change. So all I said to my daughter is, if we give you this phone, you can use it whenever you like, but your grades need to stay where they are, and you need to tidy your room, clean up after yourself. I shit you not, within 3 months of giving her that phone, it had all gone to shit. Grades are shit, room's a fucking tip. So I took it off her for 10 days. Took the phone off her for 10 days. And in that 10 days, we got glimpses of his old daughter, and it worked. And I was saying to my wife, let's not give it back. Even my daughter were agreeing with me that she felt better about herself. She were less anxious. She were not worrying about other people and their opinions. I said, well, let me keep the phone. And she went, oh, no, when am I getting it back? So we give it back, and I would say within a month, no, less than a month, within 2 weeks, she's back to where she was before. So I said to my wife, let's take it off her again, and my wife said, no, she's got to learn responsibilities. So what's happened now is her results dropped so much that she couldn't join me when I went back to England to go see my dad. She couldn't join me because she had to go to summer school and get her grades up. So my dad, you see, the biggest loser in this is my dad, because he don't get to see his granddaughter. He missed out on him for 4 years because of COVID, and then we go home in 2019, and he sees her then, and then we come back home in 2019, her grades are all over the place, so she's not going this year. So he doesn't see her because she can't be asked trying at school. So she's just done 6 weeks of summer school. She's got into school and she's had these tests at school, which they give you as soon as you arrive back. and the grades are exactly where they were, they're still shite. So I go home on Friday. My wife's sat there nervously. No, not nervously, she's sat there. And now with Japanese people, especially with women, they don't like to show their emotions. But you know something's amiss. Now, being the Yorkshireman, I always think it's me. I don't know if that's being a Yorkshireman or just being brought up by my mother, where it was never her fault. But I always think it's my fault. So I said to her, what's up? Because you've got to ask, you see. If a Japanese person is pissed off with you or pissed off with a situation, you've got to ask them, otherwise they just sit on it. You've got to be that pressure valve. If nobody taps that valve, nobody taps that oil well, they just explode and run into a packed shopping mall with a knife, or they'll jump in front of a train. So you have to be the one to release that pressure. So she gets my daughter's report and says, it's shit. It's not worse than a shit grades last year, but it's no better. So we've spent for 12 months, so let me think now, 7, 14, 21, 280 quid a month. So we've been spending 280 quid a month on private school 3 times a week. So she goes there, she sits down, all subjects apart from English, and she just hasn't been trying. She gets the results sheet from the Juku. Juku is after school. She gets the result sheets from Juku, she looks at it, they're obviously shit results. Where's your result sheet? Oh, I lost it. I just think we've just fallen out of a fucking tree. So, the phone has gone. Now, my wife went to play tennis with her on Friday night. This was the night of the big drama. So she went to play tennis with her on Friday night. And all my daughter was saying was, when am I getting my phone back? When am I getting my phone back? Now, I've not seen her since Friday. They didn't get back late on till Friday night. I was already in bed. I got up, went to work Saturday. I were out all day yesterday delivering flyers. I got home about 5:30, 6 o'clock. And my daughter's upstairs asleep in bed. She'd got up and had some ramen around 2 o'clock. She'd grunted at my wife and gone back to bed. So as the three of us are getting ready to go to bed about 10, half 10, I heard her emerging, and she's gone downstairs, obviously thinking that she can get on telly and watch TikTok and YouTube on telly, but we've had to take all the remotes upstairs. So you can hear her reaction just from the sounds that she's making downstairs. So me and my wife are in bed. We hear her go downstairs as soon as our bedroom door's shut. You can hear the fumbling about looking for remotes and devices. And my wife had brought them all up to our bedroom. There are no devices or remotes downstairs. She comes banging up the stairs like, I don't know if you ever watched Spaced from the 90s, that British sitcom. There were a wayward daughter that you never saw her, you just heard her. So she comes banging upstairs, obviously in a very pissed off mood, goes into her bedroom, shuts the door, and I left the house at 7, 8 o'clock this morning. I've still not seen her. So I've not seen my daughter since Friday at 5 o'clock, and it's now Saturday morning. It's now Sunday morning. She's not been out, she's got no way of contacting her friends. Now I wanted to drop the bombshell of, you're not getting your phone back. That's it, you're done. But I've not seen her. So what me and the wife have come up with is we're going to swap the phone out for a flip phone. And if she starts belly aching about a flip phone, she's not even going to get that. So I had to say, look, we've tried it your way, it don't work. Now it's my turn. And my way is the Yorkshire way. Now, I were raised the Yorkshire way, and I'm still fucked up now. So what I'm going to do is, all that fucking bullshit that were put in me, I'm going to cut the fat off. I'll cut that fat off. And I'll just give her the stuff that works. So all you do, basically, is you get rid of all the shit and just let her do the good stuff. Now the good stuff for a 13-year-old girl or boy is usually the stuff they hate the most, which is studying, homework, reading. You can come down and watch the telly when we're watching it, but there's no remotes for you to watch what you want until your grades start coming up. You've got your flip phone, you can text your friends. I never had that. So there's the bonus there between you and me. And we'll see how that goes. Now, the flip phone's not off the table forever. But what my aim out of this is to get my daughter's grades up so much that she's able to join me and lad in summer going to see my dad. If she don't get her grades up this next year and a half, the school year starts at the end of April, at the start of April here, and she's going to be in her last year of high school, her last year of junior high school, and then in 18 months she'll be off to high school. If she does not get her grades up in the next year or so, she's going to be going to one of the shittest high schools in Kanagawa. Or she's going to private school, which is going to cost. And I said to my wife, I'm not paying for private school, especially not to a kid that ain't even fucking trying. So, that's where we are. Now my wife said, but she's going to hate you. I said, I do not give a fuck. You can be Miss Nice, I'll be the knobhead. I've had that fucking tag my entire life. Like Bovril, or Marmite, or Vegemite. You either do or you don't. If you don't, go fuck yourself. If you do, I'm your man. So, I'm very sorry I was late because of weather, and I had more pressing things to be getting on with, as you've probably heard. But I'm back on the bike. I'm sounding like I'm smoking 40 cigarettes a day or drinking a couple of handles of whiskey every day. We've got this mycoplasma pneumonia going round. Both of my kids have had it. My daughter got it first, obviously. Spent 2 weeks in bed milking it. My son's got it. He's had it for a week. He's jumping in hot baths all day so he can get this fever out of him so he can go play football. Same childhoods, completely different ways of dealing with it. And the fuckers have given it to me. Now, I were a bit rough a few days ago, but I'm over it now. But I'm still left with this very sexy voice, which I use to my advantage when I'm performing wedding ceremonies, which I am going to be doing later on today. later on this afternoon after I finish this cycle. Now, I'm not going to say I'm going to be on time with another podcast next week, but I've got a week off, so I've got time. So, as I turn my camera back round to me, eyes on me, everybody, eyes on me. There we go. Welcome back. Okay. So as I bid farewell to you, as I'm going up this hill, which I didn't time to right, as my goodbye, I'm going to be out of breath a bit with this voice. It's going to be panic stations in my house. Teenage girl without Wi-Fi or a phone. It's going to be bumpy. But that's where I live. That's where I thrive. There's nothing more pleasurable to a Yorkshireman than making somebody's life miserable without putting that much effort in. And with that, I bid you farewell. Adios, people. See you next week. Oh, it has stayed on 27 minutes. 27 minutes, good. That's the perfect time.